Is Black Adam a type of Antichrist? That is the name of this video. If you like this type of thing, subscribe. Feel free to comment, give me a thumbs up, all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the movie that we saw last night, Black Adam. If you haven't seen this movie, maybe go watch it first and then come and watch this one. There might be some spoilers in here. I'm not going to go into detail about the movie itself, but I wanted to compare Black Adam with what we think or what we understand the Antichrist to be. So, Black Adam is portrayed as a bad guy in this movie, but the character himself is thinking that he is doing the right thing. He has his own moral code. And in some ways, when you look at movies, what makes a great movie is to have a good hero that understands his purpose, his calling, and knows what is right and what is wrong. Maybe has some convictions mixed in there. And then you have a bad guy, a villain that thinks he's doing the right thing. And maybe his moral code is not lined up with what the hero's code is. They have two codes, two conflicts. But some of the cooler movies are where the hero and the bad guy are very similar. Like, take Batman, for example. Batman is a hero. He would be considered like a dark hero because he has no problem killing bad guys. And we have a dark villain, the Joker, which has no problem killing bad guys or good guys. He just has a different moral code. And in his world, everybody else is insane. And in the world of Batman, he thinks all the bad guys are insane and he's perfectly normal, a perfectly normal human being dressing up like a bat late at night, pummeling bad guys. So now we get Black Adam, played by Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I got to tell you, right out of the gate, I don't think there's anyone else that could play a better Black Adam. I think he nailed it right out of the park. This guy has no problem killing bad guys without a thought. And because he has a moral code that he thinks he's doing the right thing, life doesn't mean anything to him because he saw his son get killed and now he's resurrected. He's back here on this time frame where we are today. And there is some similarities between mirroring the idea that a person like Jesus Christ dies and rose again. So we got Black Adam doing the same thing. The interesting thing, I'm not going to slam this movie and go, this movie is against Jesus Christ, because honestly, because we are human beings, it feels like that is our natural tendency. We have something in our DNA to make creatures, objects, idols, whatever it is, in the shape of a god. And then we make bad guys, good guys, all this kind of stuff. So that's what, like, movies do that. So whatever is in the writer's head, he could be contemplating trying to figure out who God is, who Jesus is, who we are as human beings, and what would it be like if there was a bad guy out there that couldn't care less about people. What would that do? What would that look like? And you get the same sense in the Bible as well. When you talk about the Antichrist, it's someone that has his own moral code and he thinks he's above everyone else and doesn't really care about people. He only cares about himself, wealth, fame, all this kind of stuff. So that is the Antichrist. Whereas when you look at Jesus, he didn't come across as a famous guy. He wasn't seeking glory, none of that stuff when he was on earth. In fact, he wanted to be a servant, and he taught his disciples that if you want to be great, you should be the servant. Now you get the character Black Adam, who is basically saying, I kneel to no one. Who does that remind you of? Well, the devil. The devil does not want to kneel to anyone, even though one day he will bow the knee to Jesus Christ. He is a created being. The devil is a created being. We tend to forget that. We tend to think that the devil is equal with God. He's not equal with God. He is a created being, and one day he's going to be judged severely along with his followers, the fallen angels. They're going to be judged as well. So in this movie, Black Adam's like, I'm not going to kneel for anyone. Then you have the Justice Society, Dr. Fate, which is like Doctor Strange. You have Hawkman, which is trying to think of the character that has the wings and everything in Captain America. I forget the guy's name. Anyways, very similar to that, except Hawkman is more of a mythological being because he has these wings and all this kind of stuff. I thought it was a cool looking character, Hawkman. I was like, it's about time they introduced this character into the DC extended universe. I thought they did a good job on that. But back to Black Adam. Yes, there are a lot of similarities to him being a type of Antichrist. The only difference is Black Adam comes across as a person that does not want to save the world. It's like I couldn't care less about being a savior. And the Justice Society is like, heroes don't kill people. And Black Adam says, I do. So that tells you that he has his own agenda, and that is that he doesn't care about anyone. So you can take it for what it is. You can go, you know what, is Black Adam an evil being, and should we as Christians be offended and all this kind of stuff? And there are some scenes in there that go a little bit occultish, if you will, because they introduce another character in there, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. But yeah, so I'll just leave it at that. So if you want to see the movie, check it out. But the point is, I don't get offended in movies like this because I'm always looking at the analogy that the director, the writer, the producer is trying to portray in his world what he views God, who he views God as. That is not how I view God, but I can go there, be entertained, and then get something out of it and go, okay, that's this guy's interpretation of who he thinks God is. Now, if you're influenced by that and you go to a movie and I don't know, you want to go worship Shazam or all this kind of stuff, the wizards and all this kind of stuff, that's your call. If you feel confident that that's what you need to do, I think most people can walk into a movie and go, yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah, maybe the storyline isn't very good and all this kind of stuff, but you're not emotionally invested in this movie. Like I've heard stories from people watching Avatar that afterwards, when they walked out of the movie theater, they're like depressed that they're not a blue people. They're not a blue person. They're not walking around like blue people, 10 foot tall, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, it's just a movie. And in fact, if you never watched Avatar in 3D, it's actually a very boring movie. It's 3 hours long. It's great the first time around, but I could never watch it a second time. Would I watch Black Adam a second time? Yeah, probably. I'll probably watch it on TV or something down the road. But they showed a trailer for Shazam too. That actually looked pretty cool. And really, because we are human beings, you're going to see snapshots of Jesus Christ in just about every movie because that's how we're designed. We're designed to think about God all the time. It's built right into our DNA. So I wouldn't take it too serious. There are people that are like, I'm never dawning in a movie theater, period, because that's where all the demons are. That's where they live. They sell you popcorn, pop, all this kind of stuff. If that's what you believe, fine. I won't go to a movie with you. But there are other people that have no problem watching any movie under the sun. I'm not like that. I do try and guard my eyes. And, there's some movies that have something bad in it. I'll be like, yeah, I'm probably not going to watch that movie because it does affect your spirit. So maybe I'll make a video about that, about the influence of movies. But really, I think at the end of the day, if you have a healthy relationship with Jesus Christ, you know who you are, you're fine to see this show. If you are easily influenced and you've made a vow with yourself to guard your eyes to watch certain movies and all this kind of stuff, maybe you don't want to see this movie because there is some occult stuff in it. So I'm just letting you know on both sides of the fence, depending where you are. So some people walk in and walk out and just go, man, that movie just had no story. Like, it didn't fit. It was boring. Couldn't understand what was going on, all this kind of stuff. Those are the critics. They're probably going to bash this movie that way. But from an entertaining something a little bit different, I didn't mind it. I actually liked the idea that The Rock is Black Adam. So, is Black Adam a type of Antichrist? Absolutely. Absolutely. He would be portrayed as a type of Antichrist. So, let me know if you've watched the movie. Let me know if you like this type of thing, if I should talk about more movies in detail. I don't have any notes or anything. I'm just basically sharing my thoughts about the show. Maybe I'll do a little bit more research on the next one. But let me know what you think. Is this a horrible movie? Is this a good idea to make more movies like this? Were you offended? Were you not offended by this movie? Let me know in your thoughts. I appreciate all your comments, and I will see you in another video. Bye for now.